Hi, I'm Michael Shumway. I'm a therapist in Arizona, Tempe area, and I thought I would talk a little bit about something that I often talk about with some of my clients. Just for safety's sake, this is not your counselor. This isn't therapy for you. If you need help, go get it. But this is just some things that I think about and I often talk about in my office, and I thought would be interesting and useful for everyone. So the idea is reciprocal narrowing is a good definition of mental illness. What I mean by reciprocal narrowing is it is a technical term coming from 4E cognitive science. 4Es are embedded, extended, have them here. Embodied, embedded, enacted, and extended. So I always forget the different ones. Basically, we don't just process all of everything that goes, I even say everything that goes on in our brain. It's not just in our brain. We embody it. We process that information through our environment, through tools like YouTube even, that's the extended part, and through our social environment. So we learn via society as much as we learn by just sitting and thinking, which was the sitting and thinking very much was the post Rene Descartes or Cartesian model. So that is all nerdy stuff that you don't superly need to know, but I thought it would be nice to kind of have the background. The other term that I'll be using possibly is affordances. Affordances are just like options, possibilities for you. It's like, what does the situation afford for you to do? So reciprocal narrowing is essentially when you come to a situation, the affordances, all of the things that you have, may be very broad, and you have built up those affordances. So when you come to a chair, you go, that's for sitting on. The very first time you came to it, you may not have thought of that. You sat on enough chairs as a child that now when you see a chair, you see a chair. You don't see four legs and a rest and a back, and you just see chair, because you've enacted with chairs so many times in a particular way that is what your brain immediately goes to. Now, how you enacted with it was physically, and you saw this socially, and yada yada yada. Reciprocal narrowing is that's what happened. Like, now you look at the chair and you just see a chair, but you watch, and if you ever watch a kid, you'll watch him interact with a chair, and you go, oh yeah, a chair is weird. Like, oh my goodness, yeah, like look at this kid, and he's exploring it, and he's trying to get under it, or he's trying to do all sorts of stuff with this chair, and you just think, oh, I never would have thought of that. Because for him, the reciprocal narrowing hasn't happened, which is all of the affordances to a child. When he looks at a chair, it's like, whoa, there's so many, what is this thing? Is it a tent? Do I go underneath it? Is it this? Is it that? It's not a chair yet. But, so what does this have to do with mental illness? Things like anxiety or depression are the same way. Thoughts pop into our head, and we enact with them in a particular way. And sometimes these are socially based, and sometimes they're based by being embodied with them. Your boss is always yelling at you. The second your boss walks in, your body just like tenses up. This is anxiety. Because every time you're dealing with your boss, you're getting yelled at, whatever. I guess that's kind of both embedded and embodied. But the idea is reciprocal narrowing is the process of bringing things in. Anxiety and depression, it's the same way. When you are extremely depressed, you look out at the world and you don't think, I can get up, I can shower, I can have a decent meal, I can go for a walk, the day is beautiful. You think, I'm so tired and it hurts and I just want to go to sleep. And you behave in that way. And then the next day, if depression sinks in further, you do the exact same thing. And you don't even, and people will sometimes be like, well, why didn't you just go shower and go for a walk? And it's because those possibilities just kind of shrink away. It's like, why don't you walk up to a chair and go underneath it? It's because a chair is a chair. And for people who are really, really struggling with something like depression, yeah, that all shrinks. It all just kind of disappears. So we have approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy. Most of your behavioral therapies approaches really kind of hone in on this, and they go, how you're thinking about it and how you're behaving with it, change those, and then you'll change how you're feeling and all of this other stuff. And basically what you're saying is, I know that things have sunk in for you, and it may not seem like a possibility, but you need to get up and go take a shower. You need to get up and go for a walk. You need to do these things. And even though it's like that doesn't even register, if you do it, it slowly breaks it up. And so in therapy or with people who are supporting you and they're giving you this advice, that kind of helps to slowly break up that reciprocal narrowing to reciprocal opening. And this is really important. I mean, all of your hot take, all of the cognitive behavioral therapy things, all behavioral or cognitive side of it comes from Stoicism. I don't think it's really that hot of a take. I think everybody just goes, yep, it's pretty much Stoicism. So this has been around for thousands of years, type of a deal. And if you enter into therapy and you agree upon something with your therapist, and they'll be like, next time you're feeling depressed, you're going to follow X, Y, Z. You're gonna do this. You're gonna call your friend. You're gonna text your friend. You're going to get out of bed, even if you just go lay on the couch. And when your friend texts back, no matter what, you're gonna go take a shower. And if you agree upon that with your therapist, what you've done is you've kind of thrown a wrench into that narrowing aspect. Because even though when you wake up and you're depressed, and typically because you've embodied a certain pattern, the monkey wrench is we've socially talked about this thing and we've given cues, like when you wake up, text your friend, when they text back. So you have like these set cues that are something that you can do. Like I can, even though depression's really rough, I can text my friend and I can go from my bed to my couch. And when they text back, okay, I can go shower. Even if your morning text is good morning and they text back, what up? Like you have these cues, you start to build in this thing. So it's a monkey wrench into that reciprocal narrowing. And that's basically what a lot of this stuff is doing. And I think this idea of reciprocal narrowing as mental illness really helps. I don't know. I don't think it quite applies to every single kind of mental illness, but maybe it does. And it may just be how you present it. It's an idea I've been kicking around for a while. It's actually something I heard on a podcast with John Vervaeke. It was him or his guests. If anybody finds the clip or whatever, send it to me, post it. I do want to give original credit because I don't remember if it was him or the person he was talking to basically said, oh yeah, mental illness is reciprocal narrowing. And it just, bing, it just hit me and I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely it. And so often in therapy, I will sit and talk with my clients about this. And I think having them take a different view of their depression or anxiety or mania or whatever, their swings of emotions or the situation in which they find themselves, like couples arguing or whatever. Again, you're finding the reciprocal narrowing. Like she said this and suddenly it's like, like the second your intimate partner says a particular thing, you've always behaved in such a way. And so now everything zones in and you see red and it's like, well, he did such and such and that means that and it's like, you don't have to. I get the impulse. I get it. I understand that the pattern has developed. I know it's hard, but we can stop that narrowing and we can open it up. And really that allows us to have freedom in our actions. It gives us freedom to decide, am I going to let this affect me or am I going to do something, even if you don't immediately have a change, like going from depressed to, oh yeah, I'm happy. I decided to be happy. I know that's not how it works. You have to live it out. You have to create those new patterns. You have to start to change your cognition This happens through those 4 E's: embodied, embedded, extended, enacted, and extended. So I thought this might help some people that are out there. It's a different way of thinking about therapy and what's going on with therapists, especially when we're using things like behavioral approaches or cognitive approaches. I hope this helps. If you are in the Arizona area and would like help, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Psychology Today, Michael Shumway. Thank you so much. Have a great day.